What is up? What is up? Today, we are going to talk about how to create infinite wealth. All right, infinite wealth begins in the mind before it begins in your bank account. And I think it's imperative to know that the way wealth actually begins is through gratitude. A lot of times, people don't make the kind of money they want to make because they have a way of thinking that isn't conducive to the amount of success that they actually need. And what I'm basically saying is if you go through life apprehensively and defensively, there's no way you're ever going to make it. You're not going to be able to reach your higher level goals if you're so worried about the things you're not getting or the things you're not having. And sometimes people are just so stuck. They want job security, they want to be stable, and they think that these are the ultimate goals. But what if you wake up every day for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years and you're just not happy with who you've become? What if you are living a life and every day is a 5 out of 10 or at best an 8 out of 10 and that's like your best day? And it just doesn't seem like you're making any progress, right? You average out at 6 out of 10, but you're just like bored, or you don't feel growth, or you don't feel the development that you know you really need deep inside. So today I want to talk with you about what you got to do to make some changes, okay? Because I was talking to one of my clients earlier, and this is a new client that, he really wants to make a change, and he just turned 50 years old. He said, Daniel, I don't know if I could continue doing this. This life, this business is good, but I don't feel happy. I don't feel content. I said, you know what? If you're turning 50, think about the 50 things you're thankful for. All right? Because he has 50 things he can complain about. But what about 50 things you're thankful for? He's like, you know what? Let me do it. It's only going to take 50 minutes. 50 minutes to write out 50 things you're thankful for. And after that, write out 50 things you got to change. And what happens? Right? When you do this, right? 50 things you're thankful for, you start to bless God. You start to thank Him. Right? You start to know that everything is going to work out. All right? And when you start counting your blessings, right? This is what Jesus Christ said. He said, "Count your blessings." Right? Know where you're at. Right? You can't go into war without knowing where you're at. You know? And opportunities will open up. More importantly, your love will start to show. All right? You appreciate your kids, your spouse, your friends, your neighborhood, your community, all these things, right? These are things you're thankful for. Your life, waking up, and you become more aware. You start to love. You become more conscious. All right. 99% of people are not conscious of what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. All right. They're limited to a way of thinking where they got to chase something. They're chasing their bills. They're chasing an outcome. They're trying to run to a finish line that doesn't exist. The only finish line is heaven. All right. But most people are running to a finish line where they're like, oh, whew, I got to pay my bills. And then they start the race again, right? That's why they call it the rat race, because it simply doesn't end. It doesn't end. It just keeps going and going, right? 2 weeks, pay your bills. 2 weeks, pay your bills. Then you finally get a vacation after a while, right? Usually a year or two or three. Sometimes people take vacations every 3 to 6 months, but either way, you get what I'm saying. And then the race doesn't end. All right. And finally, they get old. They think the race ends then. 65 to 75, they start collecting retirement. But then the race still doesn't end, right? There's so much more in life than to just connect with a paycheck, to just believe that this is all you are worth. and all you were created to do. And so that's where God comes in, right? Right? Jesus Christ, right, is unlimited, right? Heaven is eternal. And so when we think about the day to day, we got to realize that this is not what we're born to do. We're not born to chase money. We're not born to pay bills. We're not simply bill payers. Because if all you want to do is pay the bills, that's what you'll end up doing. That's all you'll end up doing. And you won't be able to see the end because there is no end. But if you believe in something bigger, something eternal, something that is still invisible, but also possible, then you will eventually reach that destination. Somebody was asking me the other day, Daniel, what is the kingdom of heaven? The kingdom of heaven is the assignment that God has given you. Okay? A lot of people are not in the kingdom of heaven because they're not focused on the assignment that God has given them. They're not able to connect with a higher position or purpose. They can't see the promise. They can't understand that, like, there's more than just being a cop or driving a bus or just being a welder, right? Like, you got to understand that there's so much more to achieve in this world, right? You're not just here to exist, right? To get by, to raise a kid only, and to create your family. You're here to transcend. You're here to learn. You're here to give back. You're here to create. Okay? You're here to do something that no other man or woman has ever done before. But when will you start? When will you start your journey? When will you begin the manifestation of your greatness? It's a big deal. All right, so today I want to talk with you about what to do. Because let's say you're turning 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever age, and you know, like, hey, you know what? I can be better. What must be done? Well, be thankful, first of all. Be thankful that you exist. Air in your lungs, pep in your step. There's some people, they wake up every day they're racked with pain, right? If you wake up you're healthy, you got to understand that, like, no amount of money is worth your health, right? If you wake up, even if you got $0 in the bank, but you can go run a mile, that's a big deal, right? If you can go work out and you can do anything you want, that's you're in a healthy body, man. You've already done something that half the population can't do. Okay, half the population cannot run a mile. More than half, actually. I would say 90%. You'd be surprised. But look at your neighbors, right? Ask yourself, can they run a mile? Probably not. And if you're physically fit and there's no health ailments, you're already ahead of, like, all these people. I've said this before and I'll say it again. But if you asked a billionaire if they would give up all their money to become healthy again, they would do it. So the infiniteness is not just in money. No, it's in health, right? Richness is in health. But what's more important than health? Wisdom. All right? Because assuming you have health, wisdom is something that's going to take your health even further. It's going to take your life to the distance it has to go. And so if you are able to understand this, you'll transcend, right? Because now you're past the money, you're past the health, you're conscious of your health and what you need to do to not just maintain it, but to expand it. And then this puts you in a driver's seat. This puts you in a greater position where you can say, you know what? Instead of me worrying about my wallet, I'll worry about the wisdom. I'll collect information on what I need to do in order to improve my life, right? And improve my situation, but also serving the other people around me. It's a big deal. And then on top of wisdom, what's actually more important than wisdom, which is the highest, is love. All right? You can have health, you can have money, you can have wisdom, but if you don't have love, it's completely worthless. And this is why God actually calls certain people. All right? He calls someone that is basic to a ministry that is so great, not because they're the most talented or the best looking or the richest or the youngest or the smartest or the most aware, but he calls someone because they have what it takes. They have the ability to love, right? Was Moses this man that was like super dominant? Was he like going to be prominent for any specific reason based on his abilities? No, David wasn't either. David was known as a short, ruddy-cheeked boy, scrawny. But God knew that when he chose these people, that they would have the love. That love would take them the distance. That love will allow them to reach millions of people. Now, could the opposite be true, right? That if the strongest power is love, well, if you reverse it, the strongest power is also hate. And hate is when you see, you see hate out there and you're like, wow, you usually see it faster because the manifestation of love is not realized by many people. If someone loves you and respects you, you're not like, wow, right? But if someone hates you, they cut you off in traffic, they flick the middle finger, they curse you out, it's instant, right? You become more conscious because you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that. But if someone gives you overwhelming love, you don't always realize it right away. You will if you're conscious of it. You will if you're paying attention. Right? So a lot of times people become, high-level leaders. CEOs, presidents, prime ministers, doctors, lawyers, engineers, high-level people, man, because they have high level of hate. But conversely, you can also get to that position if you have a high level of love. So how do you become infinite? Well, if you have infinite hate, you can get a lot of things because you will step on people. You will destroy other people's opportunities in order to get your own. And you will cause whatever detriment is necessary for you to ascend to the place you want to be. A lot of people do this. In fact, more people do it than not. The majority of successful looking people do it because they actually hate. Right? So you see a celebrity, you're like, why are they successful? They don't know God. Well, they don't know God, but they practice a high level of hate that allows them to delude themselves. They're delusional, but also the other people around them in which they want to infect. This is deep. If you listen to what I'm saying, it's going to make sense. And so they're further propelled because the world is so used to hatred that they will respond. If you act like you love people, people will love that. They'll reciprocate that. But like I said, if you show hate, they're going to know automatically. So someone with so much hate in their heart can show love, and it can look like they're doing something significant in this world. But someone who loves, if you show it to people, they might not always see it. But the key about love is that it's long term. It's not just eternal, but it's something that people will eventually feel in the short term too. Right? Not everyone will respond to love as quickly as they respond to hate. But eventually, all will respond to love. All will respect it. All will give you what you need because you've shown them what they need, and you've given it to them in volume. So, back to the subject of how do you make it? How do you achieve infiniteness? It's through the spirit of love. And how do I know this? Well, not only have I done this, right? All of my actions, I've been rewarded because of the love I've shown. Even if people hated me in return, I still get to where God wants to take me because of all the acts of love that I've put forth to other people, right? Millions of people. And even though if people have hated me along the way, I still reciprocate their actions with more love. And so it goes beyond their understanding that they can't hurt me anymore, right? That's the key. Because what love happens and what it becomes is forgiveness. So even if certain people have wronged you, you love them so much and you love people like them that you transcend. You forgive it instantly, right? When I face major betrayal, I instantly forgive people. When someone ghosts me, I instantly forgive them. I'm like, huh, they don't know better, right? They're limited. Their information is lacking, right? When someone wrongs me, they rob me, they cheat me, they desert me. I instantly go into a mode where I'm like, you know what? I forgive them, for they know not what they do. We're all part of the human race, and this human does not understand their role in society. And even though they think they're cheating me, they're actually cheating themselves and the other people they're impacting. And they probably needed to do this for their own satisfaction. They needed to think that they were going to win. And so, because they did this on a short term, whether it benefits them 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or indefinitely 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever they are actually running into a roadblock no matter what. Because of their lack of love, they have been limited. Whereas those who have love are limitless. They're unlimited, right? You have unlimited blessings because you love people. And if you keep on loving, God will keep on promoting. God will teach you more wisdom. He'll give you more health. He'll set you up with more opportunities. And your work becomes a byproduct of your success. You begin to grow. You become more nurtured. The development begins to take place. More things are added unto you, right? The kingdom of God works in your favor because you're working in its favor. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. I have a good friend of mine. We had a great day together. We were accomplishing so much. And after dinner, which we were thankful for, very thankful for, by the way, just ran into a pair of designer shoes, brand new, worth hundreds of dollars. And it was in a box. And it was like right in front of our car. And there was like no one else around us. And I'm like, this must be a gift from God. So I told her, try it on. Fit perfectly. We're like, this is yours. A gift from God, a gift from heaven. Just like that. Right? There's so many situations like this where you can't explain it to other people, right? Even some people would take that the wrong way. They'd be like, oh, you stole it, you should have called the cops, you should have returned it. No, that's not what the Lord was calling us to do. The Lord confirmed it. He showed us favorite color, perfect fit, right? It was deliberately designed for us. It was given to us. It wasn't even something that we would buy, right? There's a lot of things you don't even know what you need until the Lord shows you it. And in this example, it was exactly what we needed. It's not even what he showed us. He wouldn't show. I mean, he wouldn't have shown us before this, but he showed us at this moment, and we're like, wow, this fits the bill perfectly. There's certain people that come to your life. There's a verse in Proverbs 17 that says, "A brother is born in time of need." Proverbs 17:17, I think. And a true friend is loyal. Somebody can come out of nowhere and bless you with everything you wanted for that time, everything you needed. The skills, the ideas, the resources, the love, the help, the resourcefulness, the ability to serve. So that's what happens. Love prevails. So when you're thanking God, you're actually loving God. You're thanking the Almighty. You're blessing the manufacturer. You're saying to God, thank you for bestowing this precious life that you've given me. And then on top of that, you are blessing the fact that He's going to allow you to give even more. Lord, thank you for these opportunities. Thank you for these ideas. Thank you for this health. Thank you for this wisdom. But help me to also give to those who need it the most. Then He tells you how to give, right? And then what happens, right? You keep doing deeds. If you keep serving one person exceedingly well, He's going to give you 5. Then He's going to give you 10. You master those 10, He'll give you 20, 50, 100. When I first started speaking in public, I had small audiences. 20, 30 people. Once in a while, I get 50. Then eventually he gave me the big one, 100. I'm like, wow, 100 people. Instead of me staring 30 people eye to eye, because in a couple of times in a 10-minute speech, you can look at everybody once, twice, 3 times. But in 100, all right, you start to glaze into sections, usually 3 sections in a smaller audience. And then eventually the audience is bigger. Let's say 200 people. Not just audiences, sections of 4 or 5. And then it gets 300 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. Then it's sections of 6. And then after 6, it gets a little difficult, right? You got to like really know how to look at people, right? And I know some people are not there yet, but I'm just sharing the mindset because I've spoken to millions of people and a lot of people live and big audiences. It's cool. But the reason why I got there is because I loved God. Then I learned how to love myself, right? Love of self allowed me to stop smoking cigarettes. It allowed me to stop using derogatory words and statements. It allowed me to go through a cleansing of the mind, of the body, of the spirit. Instead of eating junk food, I started eating better food. I started working out more. I started stretching, right? I stopped watching vulgar things. I stopped lusting over people. I stopped worrying over things that I had no control of. And God started correcting me, started directing me, started protecting me. This is exactly what happens to you when you do the right thing. The right people, the right way, at the right time will show up. Okay, you're gonna see certain things happen, and you're not gonna be able to explain it to everyone. Okay, you're not gonna be able to say, "Oh, look, this is what happened, and this is how I was blessed, and this is the promotion that I got." Right? Someone the other day was telling me I was telling my mom everything, and she heard me at lunch. But as soon as I was done, she started to berate me. She started talking me down. She started to tell me how worthless I was. Come on now. Right? Your own mother, your own brother, your own father, your own sister, your own children, your own friends can talk you down. But being a person of love doesn't mean that you have to give people that which you don't have or give certain people more of who you are that don't deserve it, right? You have to love everyone, but you can't give people things that they don't deserve if you know they're going to trample over it. The Bible says, do not give pearls to pigs. Okay? Do not give pearls to people that are going to run over it. All right? You can't give diamonds to fools. You can't give wealth to jokers. All right? You can't give ideas to fools. You can have the most brilliant ideas, but you start telling some of your friends, some of your family, they're going to hate you. They're going to think you're crazy. And then they're going to shut you down, right? This is what happened when I started. And then I couldn't get to understand this until I started realizing, you know what? I think I got to start looking for new people. People ask me, how do you find new people? Well, you got to get rid of your old friends. You got to say, you know what, God, I am willing to move on for a higher level of connection. Now, everyone was created equally in the sight of God, but there's higher quality, more developed people. There's 8 billion people in the world. You don't have to stick around the 50 people that you see all the time. Okay? Your friends, your family, your acquaintances, your neighbors, your church mates, people at school, people at work, people, people in your life. You're not confined to the 50 people that you see all the time. There's 8 billion. You got to find them, right? So love takes you there. Now, what happens if you continue to hate? Well, then you attract hate. All right? You attract people that hate you too. You attract other people because fake spirits attract fake spirits. And real spirits attract real spirits. All right, somebody got to get this down. Fake spirits attract fake spirits. Real spirits attract real spirits. Daniel Alley. That's exactly what happens, right? You see politicians. It's fake. Their whole cabinet is going to be fake. Everyone they're surrounded with is going to be fake. Now, will some fake people get real people? And will some real people get fake people? Of course. It's a natural manifestation of life. Just like Jesus Christ. He was completely perfect. He was real. He is real. But he attracted a fake person. Now, was Judas real originally? Was he, someone that was legit? Of course. But he decided to go the other way. All right? And he became corrupted. And when you become corrupted, sometimes it's impossible to go back. Right? So, can fake people attract the real? Of course. Real people are actually meant to turn fake people around. When I encounter fake people, I tell them straight up, "Hey, I think you're fake." Like, this guy was disrespecting me in basketball. I'm like, "Bro, that's fake, man. That's not how you play this game." You know, basketball is originally created by a man named James Naismith at the YMCA, Young Men's Christians Association, and it was a game built on Christian principles. But it's been a game that's been corrupted, right? People they take shots they shouldn't take. They ball hog. They do certain things, right? Every game has found a way to become corrupted. And so, whatever industry you're in, right? You're in healthcare. You can't be in healthcare and say, "Oh, it's not corrupted." Of course it is. It's so corrupted, right? You can't be in cinema and say, "Well, I make movies. I'm a director. Nothing's corrupted." No, we know movies are corrupted, right? You can't be someone in real estate and say, "Oh, look, everything's supposed to work out perfectly. My contractors are supposed to show up. The deed is supposed to be distributed, right? The mortgage loan company should have worked out." No. This is why Jesus Christ said, even among the garden there will be weeds. All right? There's going to be tares. Tares. But at the end it will be separated. The evil will be mixed with the good. This is a universal law. This is how you actually become prosperous in every single way. Right? You have to realize that the evil is sometimes equally distributed among the good. So you want to do right, but there's evil people that are on the pathway. You're on the righteous path. Well, guess what? You're going to meet some evil people. And you got to learn how to deal with them. If you don't, then you're going to lose. You're going to miss out. You're going to be cut short. So the bottom line is that you gotta keep on loving. right? As a motivational speaker, there's a lot of people that hate me for no reason. Oh, it's just fluff. You got nothing to say. You're not saying anything new. It's crazy, right? People say this all the time. Oh, it's a scam. It's this, it's that. But deep down, I'm built with so much love that I know what I do. If someone is coming up with hate, right? They have hate in their heart, and they're like a little kid attacking a grown adult. Things that they would never say in my face. They say it online. But how am I going to react? Am I going to be crushed? No way. Because I know who I am. I know what I do. I know the millions of words that I've written. I know that I've spent thousands of hours of studying. I know that I've compiled thousands and thousands of words in a dictionary that I can use that they would never know. I know that if someone makes any remark in any regard, they don't know who I am. They don't know where I stand. They don't know why I do the things I do. For instance, someone's here saying, lose the hat. You don't know. You don't know why I wear the hat. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know why I do what I do. Right? Now, if I explained why, this person would be like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I should have been more compassionate. I should have shown more love. I should have thought before I said something. But even fools have a hard time being corrected. Right? Certain people cannot see the facts. And then they make assumptions like this person right now, there's alopecia. Not even close. Not even close. It's a rare medical condition where people lose their hair. No, I have really good hair actually. But you can't explain yourself to certain people because, especially with those who don't have love in their heart. This whole thing, right, to attract infiniteness, to attract massive success, you have to have love. Right? I loved all the cars that I had in the time being before I finally attracted my first $100,000 car. Right? In order for me to get a house, I had to love the condition that I was in, even when I was poor, even when I was in my dad's basement. I had to bless it. Then I got an apartment. Then I got a bigger apartment. Then I rented a house. Then I rented another house. Then finally, oh, my own house. Look at that. Got the deed. Wow. Now we have real estate. Imagine that. Right? So you never know where God is going to take you. When I was a kid, I couldn't even imagine all the success that I have now, right? I've accumulated all because of love, right? When I love people, God gave me more talents. He gave me more ability. He gave me higher reasoning faculties, right? Greater understanding, the ability to teach. I thank God all the time because, one thing I have that a lot of people don't have is not just the ability to write, but also the ability to speak, the ability to sell, the ability to operate online, the ability to be an entrepreneur, right? There's so many things to be thankful for. So someone comes and they're spreading their hate. Oh, Daniel, you can't do this. You can't do that. I'm like, bro, you don't even know who I am. You don't know what I do. You don't know where I'm going. You don't know you don't know that I was born homeless to immigrant parents, immigrant teen parents whose ancestors were slaves. Like, you don't know the 40 jobs I had being fired from most of them, right? You don't know all the tears I've actually shed this year, last year, the years before, and the people I cared for, the people that betrayed me. Like, so if someone comes in and they're like, "Oh, Daniel, you're this, you're that," and bro, I know who God made me to be. I know the promises. Right? This is the mindset that you have to have. You can't crack under pressure. You can't feel a certain type of way because of someone's small and inconsiderate opinion of you. Right? If you allow their opinions to change your reality, you can never gain the right mentality. Right? But in order to change your reality, you have to change your mentality. You have to change the way you think about yourself. Like I said, you have to love. Jesus Christ says, love those as much as you love yourself. Right? He's saying you have to love yourself. You have to take a good shower. You can't tell people how to be clean unless you're clean. He said the Pharisees are clean on the outside, they look good, but they're dirty on the inside. So what does that mean? The disciples, the Christians, the called, the chosen ones, also have to be clean on the inside. And to be clean on the inside, you have to take care of yourself. Right? You can't just be only taking care of other people and over serving without taking care of yourself. There's people, they get up, they don't even brush their own teeth, they don't clip their toenails, their fingernails, they don't um, wear any clothing that is stylish, they don't go shopping, they just save money, they just keep pushing themselves, hustling to do the next thing, like pushovers in a way. And they can't, they love to don't love the right things in the right way every time. You can't love people without loving yourself. You have to love yourself first. That's what I did. In order to teach self-help, I had to help myself. I can't teach people how to set goals unless I know how to set goals. Right? I mastered the goal setting process, doing it so many times, writing it down on paper. 3 months, 6 years, 20 years, 50 years, right? 1 week, figuring out short-term, long-term, intermediate, planning out, managing energy, managing money, managing time, managing self, emotions, ideas, right? I don't just create content, I organize content, right? I disseminate it over time. It's all in here, right? But I also have it written down in many other places. Then I have people who work for me or work with me, and they help me to put it down. They help me to design. They help me to create. They help me to produce. So what I'm saying though is I didn't start here, right? This is not where I'm ending, and this is far from the finish. But when you're considering the journey of life and where you are to be infinite, you have to be thankful for where you are. Right? You have to think about where you want to be. And then the difference between where you are and where you want to be is all about love. It's about the utilization of your talents, but you using your talents has to be done in the spirit of love, right? You can't serve people unless you love people. If you serve them in the spirit of hate, you might get by, you might get paid, but you're not going to do what God made you to do. Right? You're not going to progress, you're not going to learn, you're not going to develop. God can send confusion to people, but he can also send clarity. A lot of times people are like, well, I don't know what to do next. And they wake up and they're just confused. And there's other people, they wake up and they just say, God, what do you want me to do? And then boom, command, 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 command. God just tells them. He just shows them the way. When I wake up, I tell the Lord, what do you want me to do? I pray, I read the Bible, I count my blessings, I think about the tasks ahead. That's the kingdom of heaven right there. All right, well, this is who I need to become. This is where I need to go. This is what I need to do. And time after time, he proves it to me, right? He sends me people, he sends me ideas, he sends me resources. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen like right now, today, immediately, every time. It can, right? It can. There's times where like people will call you And you're like, whoa, this is a favorable call. But there's also times where people hate you. And there's seasons for these things, right? Sometimes people will hate me and then immediately someone will love me, or vice versa. I might receive a lot of love and then boom, a lot of hate all at once. You can't predict this. You can't predict crime. You can't predict failure. You can't predict bad results all the time. Even if you do the right things, sometimes bad results can come for that one project, or lesser than what you expected results. But all together, you cannot lose. All right. If you had a bad day, it doesn't mean you're going to have a bad year. All right. Most people think, oh, I had a bad day, I had a bad week. Okay. Does that mean you have a bad year? You have a bad life? No. A lot of time to recover, to respond, to react, to think back. What do I need to do to attack the day? Attack the goals. Attack the next task. And eventually God opens up and he tells you. So how to have infinite blessings, how to have it all, to be thankful, is to give of yourself more than anything else. The secret to success is very simple. You give more to others than others can ever give unto you. That's all it is, right? In almost every relationship that I have, I give more to the people than they can respond with, more than what they can give to me. If I give them a gift, they might reciprocate with a gift. If that gift is high, I'll give them a bigger gift, right? Not everyone will value it the same way, but in the end of the day, God does. God knows exactly what it is that you do. And if you become more valuable, instead of being a leech, you become a king. Instead of becoming a worm, you become a queen, right? Instead of being a bottom feeder, you're at the top of the food chain, right? Because you loved. Like God, imagine that. God will only give you more responsibility, more talents, more ideas, more opportunities, more wisdom, more understanding, if you love on a high level. And if you have a righteous king, someone that actually becomes a great person in the eyes of the Lord, is simply because they've managed themselves, they've managed other people, they've managed all different types of situations. To become a great leader, you have to deal with all different types of people, all different types of personalities. Some people don't talk. Some people just do. Some people don't react. Some people overreact. Right? So as I searched my way through this leadership journey, I asked myself, what kind of person am I dealing with right now? Have I seen this type of personality before? Is this a combination of personalities? Right? Then I assert myself into that person in the best way I know how. 10 years ago, I wasn't as good as I am now. But 10 years ago, I didn't have as much as I have now. Right? That's the difference. So give of yourself more than what other people are asking. That's another secret. Give of yourself far more what people are asking. Right? People pay for convenience. They pay whenever you are able to provide them with something that they weren't expecting or something that they really needed. Like, have you ever gotten a massage, you didn't expect it, and you're like, wow, I need that. Like, that was the best thing ever. That's exactly what it is, right? Or you were hungry and someone gave you free food, or they hooked you up with a nice meal. You weren't looking, you weren't expecting it, but boom, there it is, right? Or you're working a job, you might have got fired or laid off or demoted or something, and then you find another one that's even better. Happens all the time. But that's a byproduct of your love. You've loved correctly in the past, so now you love correctly in the present. And if you keep loving in the present, you're going to be loving in the future. And you're going to be loved in the future by others. All right, that's the secret. So, anyways, I got to go. Big day. I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys. And if you haven't heard anyone loved you, I love you. All right, love you a lot. I appreciate you guys. I wish I knew all of you. I wish I can give you a big hug, handshake, kiss. whatever you do, and just continue to understand that we're all the same humans. We're all the same. If we work together, if everyone worked together in love, we would have it all. There would be no use for money. No one would ever transact ever again if everyone was in the spirit of love. All right. If you read Acts, there's a time where everyone had everything. No one stopped until what was it, like the man and his wife? I forgot their name, but they were married and they try to hide their property profits, and Ananias or something like that, and Sephora. I don't remember their names, but you guys know what I'm talking about if you're a Bible reader. And it's in Acts, um, and then that's when like corruption began. Basically, and Christians started deviating, and then now they have like different denominations and different sections and different beliefs. And oh, I don't agree with his theology. Why? Because he thinks this or he thinks that, or that's not how we should be. We should work together. We should actually always agree. We don't have to disagree on anything. If anything, we're more alike than different in almost anything. Oh, Ananias and Sapphira. That's their name. I just thought of it. Um, so, anyways, we should agree more than we disagree, right? Uh, we don't have to fight. We don't have to like be separate in any ways. We can all be together. We can all, if everyone worked together, we can do something big. But everyone wants to live in their own separate quarters. Everyone wants to have their own separate car. Everyone wants to have their own separate kitchen. And oh, I don't like that color. I like this color, right? Or I don't like that meal. I like that meal. And it's good to have preferences, but we don't have to like deviate from God because we think so differently. Oh, he's a Jew and he's a Muslim and he's a Hindu and she's a Buddhist, right? Then all the ideas become so separate that we can't do what we're supposed to do. So the body of Christ, Jesus Christ, is supposed to work together, but the world at large cannot find him because they're not seeking him. But if we seek him, we shall find him, and he will answer all of our prayers, all of our thoughts, all of our highest wishes, and actually go beyond if you read Ephesians 1. Um, all of our aspirations will be met, right? All the goals will be kept, right? Everything will be done because we're keeping Jesus Christ first and we're accomplishing all that he set us out to do because we're acting in the spirit of love. We're loving as hard and as much as we can. And what does he do? He promotes, right? Does he promote hate? No way. He promotes love. He promotes unity, real unity, not people talking about it, or I have this nonprofit, or I have this charity, or I'm doing this event, and oh, we're getting these people together at the seminar. Like all those things can be great in the Lord. But what's really great is if people actually work together in a spirit of love, in a spirit of harmony, if people bartered, if they shared, if they're able to use each other's gifts together and with purpose and talents, right? Just everyone just blending in to do. I'm good at this, you're good at that, let's share, right? And if we did that every day, we solve all the problems in the world. All right? There's no way that we can't. But because of disunity and because the enemy wants to kill, steal, destroy, as declared in John 10:10, we have to watch out, right? We have to be um, harmless doves, but we have to be as wary as serpents, right? The enemy is sneaky, and so we have to know that the wolves are out there to kill us, and we gotta protect ourselves at all times, no matter what. Um, but we also have to know that God protects us, right? He provides. He he's the one that alters um, our environments, right? We can be one place one year, and then the next year we're in a whole different place. So if you live in the spirit of his love, if you live for his covenant, he's going to take you to where you got to go, but you got to continue to trust in him. And that's how you get promoted. That's how you receive everlasting blessings and achieve all the things that you were set out to do. So anyways, appreciate you guys. Love you. I'll see you next time. I'll leave this up for a little bit. I don't know how long, but take advantage of it. Take a lot of notes, okay? Take this seriously. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot of encouragement to be had. Might need to watch it in the future. There's a lot of garbage out there, man. Don't watch people's podcasts. They're not speaking in the spirit of love. They're talking about other people. They're talking about other things. They're trying to entertain you so you can keep on watching. so you can eventually see their commercials, pay them. They want to raise their viewership, and all that is what they do. But what we do as believers, as truth seekers, is we understand what God wants us to do, how He wants us to serve, how He wants us to love. And if we continue to do that, He will take us above. Because with Jesus Christ, we always win. If you want my help, reach out to me at info@danielalley.com, info@danielalley.com, or just visit danielalley.com. It's easy to find me, and I look forward to working with you. Big things are coming, and God bless you. I'll see you guys next time. Much love.